Hello, fellow space nerds. How are you doing? It's Monday, space junkie time, hammer time. So we are back. We are a Hungarian YouTube channel teamed up with What About It here on What About It Plus, and this is the regular takeover when we take over to this channel, and we're gonna chit chat a little bit about Starbase, Starship, just our favorite topics. It's mainly Starbase and Starship, but every now and then we digress our attention. But I think today is gonna be purely Starship, right? Hi, David. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's nice to be back again. And without running into the details, if we are lucky, then maybe we will see some very special event. But yeah,
Mhm.
we'll see how this 1 hour with us will fly by.
Exactly. We will fly by. And I am Sabi. So David and Sabi, we are going to be your host today. We are going to try our best. As you can hear, English is not our main language and not our first language, but we are trying to give you our best knowledge to bring you the best information. As David was mentioning, some special stuff is going on down in Starbase. The reason why we are showing for you Pad B during the What About It live camera is that because they might do some chopstick lifting. That's a nice tongue breaker. Um, yeah, so hopefully they are going to
Repeat it
fit.
100 times.
No, thank you. At some point. Okay, let's see what we have for this week. Maybe we can start with taking a look at the production side, just for a brief look.
Mhm.
First of all, we have some damage on my beloved building, which
Oh
is
yes.
the car park. If I zoom in, you can see a hole in here and a bigger hole in here. So they are fixing it up right now. Yeah, the storm, the wind, and the weather is not that great at Starbase, and it's doing some damage,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
these days, or better to say, these weeks are not the best
Mm-mm.
in terms of the weather. So terrible weather actually since from beginning of December. So these 2 months were so terrible, and even with these bad conditions, SpaceX could do quite big steps forward. But yeah, we will talk about it in a very short moment. Just yeah, Sabi's famous building damaged a bit, but they
Yep.
are just scratch, so they are flesh wounds, and the workers can correct them quite easily. So maybe next week it will shine as previously.
Yep. Tell me, am I just spotting this building right now? Why I never really noticed. I knew that they had some extension, but I don't know why. I just can't recall it.
That's the Raptor nest.
Raptor nest. Okay, so
They
it's
collect
been
here
here.
the engines, and they
Uh-huh.
then from here they
This is
just
the
think.
one where they walked with Tim.
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
They,
cool, cool, cool.
that's the smaller building where all the Raptors
Mm-hmm.
are set up or just collected until they are getting installed into the boosters or
Mm-hmm.
ships.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Cool.
that's the collection or the Raptor nest again.
Cool, cool, cool. I really like how organized this whole area here with the little roads and it's just clean. It transformed so much in the past 1 year. I think we have a nice comparison photo from RGV aerial just in 1 year. What a difference a year makes. It's not exactly how the song goes, but you know what we mean. Look at the upper picture. Mega Bay 2 is just under construction. There is no sign of car park. Instead, I mean the parking lot. I mean the building, the car park
Yep.
building. Instead, there was just a parking lot, and the main change is that there are still one onion tent,
Yeah,
and
the
on the
two
bottom
third.
you can see it extended so
mm,
much. Yeah.
Yeah, the two third, or I don't know which part, but most of the part of the Star Factory is not built yet. And
Yep.
and yeah, as you can see, the last onion tent is still standing. But maybe
Oh,
there
and
that were the last days of it again.
mhm. So here they are doing the laying down the foundation and pouring
Mhm.
the concrete. This is the onion tent here,
Yeah.
and we still have the soccer field
Oh
or
yeah,
football
the
field.
famous football
Yes,
field.
the infamous, yeah. Anyway, it changed a lot, as we said. It's quite amazing what happened in here. One more thing, just before we go to the launch site and cover Pad B and all the changes that's going on right now. On the production side, we still have one bit of the new Pad B. It's being built. Is
Hmm.
the tower? What's this? The launch pad.
Yeah, the Ola platform, or we don't know how to call it yet.
Hmm.
That's the main part of the Pad B actually. So
Yep.
yeah, it's still under construction. As you can see, there are some
Sorry.
scaffolding around it, and yeah, maybe the main work is from inside or inside of this whole structure. So that's why we can't see any big difference compared to the last photos. I mean, last flyover photos. But yeah, these tents on the top of this platform is because the wind again. So they want to make safe environment for the workers to make the welding work or job uh, in a proper way. And with these tents, they weren't blown down from this top because yeah, the
Hmm.
winds were quite high in the last couple of days,
Hmm.
and
Hmm. Yep.
that's why these tents are on the top.
Hmm. I really like the fact that now we can see these pipes sticking out.
Hmm.
We were just discussing before the program if they're going to put all these pipes all around here or just one side. I don't think we know for
Hmm.
sure at this moment, or at least we don't know that. But definitely, it's really cool to see that this pad is coming together
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it will be interesting to watch or overview how this
Hmm.
enormous one big part or one yeah, but one big part of the constructed pad B thing will just rolled down to the on the highway 4 until or to the launch pad. So yeah, I don't know how many SPMTs do they or are they gonna have or are they gonna need, but maybe one or two won't be enough.
We will see. We will
Yeah.
see. We got some schematics from Chrome Kiwi. This is a beautiful work. So just if you are curious how it looks like from inside and from out, this is pretty cool. This is a
Mhm.
very complicated structure. We talked about it previously that once this sort of plan, this new swappable launch pads are going to be built, at least one or two, let's say two, then they can just switch it over, and after launch, they just take one out, replace it with another one, and then in quick succession they can
Yeah.
just launch another one. So it's pretty cool. I think we are going to enjoy this a lot when it goes ahead. Hmm.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yep.
And maybe the
Okay.
second one will be built much faster than the first one, but maybe it's not a surprise because that's the
Yeah.
prototype of everything. So yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything is a prototype in here. They are trying to find their way.
The tower isn't.
Well, yeah. The second tower. Well, third tower. Second in Starbase and
Yeah.
third altogether because there is one in Florida as well as we know. Um, right. Um, by the way, we forgot to say that if you have any questions, just let us know in the chat, and we are more than happy to answer any of your questions. So, as we mentioned, they are going to be lifting the chopsticks.
Hmm.
So, let's just start focusing on the right hand side of the photo. Basically, to the Tower B. This is the second tower they are building. It's going to have quite a few changes, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Mm. Yeah, as we discussed it earlier, when they have built actually the tower itself. The modules of the tower are a bit different compared to the first tower, but yeah, maybe we won't repeat it again. The 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 bigger difference is in terms of the chopsticks, because these second chopstick, or the third one actually, because there is a chopstick already built in Florida. So yeah, um, just that's the third one. Okay, so they are much smaller or much shorter than the pad A chopsticks, and it will be quite interesting to see the first catch attempt for the boosters and for the ships, because they have to have even more precise during the landing, or the catching attempt, because the chances are lower, but we could see in case of the first and the second successful catching of the booster 12 and booster 14, that they could do their job quite perfectly. And
Mhm.
maybe that's why SpaceX engineers could be sure that these shorter sticks will do the trick as well again. But of course, we will see. And the two chopstick, or those three main parts of the chopsticks, so the carriage and the two arms were installed or mated last week. And they so the workers have done it quite in a short pace. So even the weather was quite terrible, they could progress quite in long. And actually, the two arms were installed in about only 10 hours. So around one day, one work day. So it's a quite good job.
Mhm. Um, to be fair, Felix was talking about this particular stuff on Friday because he mentioned, and I think this is a little part of the episode from Friday, which we highly recommend you to watch every Tuesdays and Fridays. He was mentioning the shorter chopsticks, and he was kind of analyzing the way that the two successful booster landings happened, and they were always kind of precisely landing in the middle of the longer chopsticks, and he doesn't predict that they're gonna have any problems landing on the shorter chopsticks because they landed so precisely. And also, these, let's not forget that this booster has the capability of hovering, as we saw at the landing, so it's not doing the same sort of landing than the Falcon 9s, the suicide burns, and during the landing it needs to be timed and precisely, choreographed the way that it's landing whenever it's touching ground and the velocity goes down to zero. Instead, it can correct itself and push itself closer and closer if it needs to do any correction. So yeah, I don't think that SpaceX would go for it if they wouldn't be confident with that, with this current design.
Yeah, I think so as well. But yeah, maybe for first sight, everyone can think that, oh, they will be enough for a catch attempt, because we can see these booster were land yeah let's say landed on the chopsticks in the middle, and actually that's the very end of the new chopstick. But because of the infrastructure is a bit different compared to the pad A, I mean the pad B infrastructure is different. So the SQD will look like different. Of course, the pad B, as we have seen previously, will be totally different. So these landing attempts are, let's say, programmed because of the OLMA and a bit weak, let's say weak SQD arm on the tower A. But because they will improve it, that's maybe they could withstand even bigger forces, so the booster can land actually closer to the tower. So that's
Mhm.
why the shorter chopsticks would be enough. But as we will see how the
Mhm.
first attempt will come out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Uh, can we get back the live camera just to see what's the progress of the current situation down there, because we are waiting. I mean, we don't know for sure that when they are going to lift the whole mechanism, because it's so interesting that they don't really do the separately, the ones that slides at the back of the service tower, and
Mhm.
then the chopsticks. They don't fit it separately. Instead, they assemble this whole
Mhm.
structure, and then they fit it all together, just like they did with the Tower A.
Yeah, and there were some preparations on the tower because the slides were already installed, on which the chopsticks are moving up and down.
Mhm.
So the tower is prepared for the chopstick lifting, and yeah, the last step is actually on the screen right now. So they preparing the whole chopstick to the lift, and it will be done only with one crane. But this yellow crane is quite strong, so it can do the job.
Mhm.
And maybe it's
What
much more easier, or much more safe. Let's say, because if two cranes would do this job, they had to just they have to be very careful to do the parallel things, very very careful, and only with one crane it's much more easier, in my opinion, but I'm not an engineer.
they don't need to lift it too high, do they? Because I
No,
can
so it
see that
will.
the yellow crane is not that tall, like they used the one. I think it was the same what they used for the tower segments to stack together, right? It's
No,
just
it's
they
a
just took.
different.
Oh, it's a different
It's a
one.
new one. Yeah, it
Mhm.
was a
Okay,
much taller
taller.
crane,
Yeah,
but it was
I thought I just assumed that this is just a shorter configuration, but that's a totally different crane then.
yeah, yeah. It seemed to be the same, but other,
It's
maybe.
yellow, right?
Yeah, it's yellow and it's going up. Yeah.
It's like some
So
people, they don't know the car. They just know, yeah, I saw a white car. Okay, well, what type? It was white.
yeah, but maybe the rent was too high, even for SpaceX, and they just gave it back to the constructor,
Hmm. Hmm.
and now they have a third crane. But
Hmm.
yeah, answering your question, they will install it on the very bottom, so actually on the
Hmm.
base of the tower, because there are the slides,
Yeah.
and there are everything prepared, as I mentioned. So yeah, as yeah, that's because of safety reasons, to not to lift it too high, because now that will.
It's not needed. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
needed
not needed.
anywhere.
Why
Yeah.
would they do it?
They
Yeah,
just need to attach it to the rail, and that's it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's it.
yeah, not just that's it, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not that easy, but still, that's what they need to do.
Mm.
Let's just dive into the chat area, and let's see. Right, so Ek, I'm sorry, we're gonna butcher names. I'm sorry. Ekij. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry for that. Do you think that they will build a third tower at Starbase, or upgrade the first tower to match the second? That's a good question. That's a very good question, actually.
I don't think so. They will construct an entire new tower. Rather, I would say they will
You mean a
demolish
new
the.
one? You mean a
Hmm?
new one, a third one?
Oh no, no, they won't need a third tower on Starbase. And yeah, of course, we can ask a good question. Will the tower one high enough to match it with the bigger Starship, so the Block 3 version? And the answer is no, because the OLM is currently too high, because it's around 18 meters tall. And if we add the new Starship Box 3 version, which will be around 150 meters, of course, it makes 168 meters, and the tower is 143 meters around, so it won't be high enough. The second tower is almost the same height as the tower one, but because of the entire launch pad is constructed totally in different way, there won't be an 18-meter tall mount, but the entire pad B will be almost on the ground. So that's why, and of course the lifting points, even in on the boosters and but mainly on the ships, will be totally on different spots, and that's why they won't need a much bigger or much higher tower, because they can do the lifting mechanism even with this height of the tower, as I mentioned, with the different spots on the lifting points, mainly
Mhm.
on the ships. So that's why I think, making it shorter answer, that they won't build or need a third tower, but they will need to rebuild the OLMA.
Also, there is Stephen Lewis's question that connects to the previous question. I think they will be making different versions of ships, landers, tankers, depots, and so on and so forth. Will they all be the same size, or will they need different towers for taller, shorter ships? Because that's a very good question.
Yeah.
Also, because if you think about it, a tanker. I mean, to be fair, maybe where the adapter, where the quick disconnect arm is
Mhm.
connecting especially to the ships, because we that's where the difference happens, right? The booster is going to be the same. There will be just one type of booster. They don't need to do many versions of boosters. But with ships, they need the tanker, they need the depot. I don't think they will launch it too many times, but it needs to be launched every now and then. HLS version, so on and so
Mm.
forth. So probably I think the connection point is going to be the same for all the ships where they are fueling the ship itself. So I don't think they need to play with that. That's another story, and I think you covered that. If one ship is taller than the other one,
Mhm.
and that the chopsticks and the tower is going to be able to cover that difference.
Yeah, but the other question, that the booster or the super heavy Block 2 version will be or not much, but they will be higher than the previous, or the current version.
Mhm.
So it will be around.
But that's just one adjustment. Once
Yeah,
they
but
make the
yeah.
difference, once they adjust it, then
Mhm.
job done.
And of course, the other question, which type of the ships will be recovered. So not, of course, not every types of ship will be coming back actually. So
Hmm.
for example, the HLS, the tankers, they will come back, but the depot version, so let's say without any flaps or heat tiles, of course they will just launch one time, and they will just making orbits at the very end of the if life cycle, but
Yeah,
they
but
won't come
that
back,
doesn't
so
make
they
any
won't be
difference
catched.
in terms of fueling and and lifting. That's just an extra.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that doesn't make difference in terms of how they
Mm,
can fuel it and stack it and this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's worth pointing out that
mm,
there will
yeah.
be ships that won't be coming back. Well, they will, but in pieces. Similar to Flight 7 or Ship 33.
Yeah, but yeah, that's why I was mentioning that they this second, so the pad B could fit, I don't know, even 160-meter Starship, because the height is enough.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Still no lifting, so we are waiting for it to happen, which might happen anytime or it won't. We will see. We don't know. There is no announced time schedule that exactly when is it going to be lifted.
Yeah,
Right.
but just to make sure, what you have seen previously, that was already recorded in 2021, when the Franken crane was lifting the first chopstick, because maybe there are some confusion that, okay, this chopstick is still at the ground. Of course, what we have just shown for you, that was the first construction. Okay, so these are totally different cranes, totally different spot. So yeah, the current pet B chopstick is still at the ground, or on the ground. Sorry.
Well, the clue definitely is that there is no round OLM here, so that's
Yeah,
how
that's another one.
it's easy to spot that which one are we looking at. Right. Let's see the foundation of this new build site, sorry, launch site, and
Hmm.
namely the base of the Tower
Flame
B.
trench.
Yeah, the flame trench, and basically now they are finishing, kind of finishing the digging, and it looks like it's in a different speed right now. So they started sort of building the real structure of it and laying down some
Hmm.
important hardware in the ground.
Yeah, fortunately, there was only one day on Friday when the weather conditions were quite good, and
Mhm.
the RGB area could do its flyover. And yeah, we can see a quite big difference compared to the previous flyover photos, because as we can see, yeah, the digging is almost finished. Again, next to the flame trench, the rebars are already set for a quite big concreting work. And the other big difference is at the bottom. Currently, at the bottom of the photo, this ramp is already concrete, is poured with concrete as well, or started with to pour. And yeah, that's actually the one exit of the flame trench, and the other one will be still constructed, sorry. But it's because of the digging job or work is still ongoing. That's why they couldn't just build it, let's say build. But after they digged everything out, so the groundwork is finished, as we can see on this render photo.
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
um, then they can start to build the second ramp, so which is in our direction currently here. And yeah, there are some questions: why are these concrete work needed next to the pad, or next to the flame trench, sorry. And maybe that's the preparation area of the changing of the mobile OLMs. So that will be the ramp, as they, or yeah, the ramp for the rolling up on the platform, as we can see on the messes, because there is a ramp built as well, where the ships are just going up on the top of the top of this flame trench. And that will be maybe this ramp for this pad B. And
This one you mean on the left hand side,
yeah,
this half round shape.
yeah,
This is what you mean?
yeah, of course, maybe I'm wrong, but
This one.
that's the only spot where the ships and the boosters can just roll up to the hill,
Mhm.
let's say,
Mhm. Mhm.
or
Mhm.
over the flame trench. And yeah, that will be the spot where these mobile OLMs can be changed as well.
Mhm. 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 Interesting. Yeah, definitely we are looking forward to it because this is a big milestone once they can finish this. Because it's very crucial to move ahead with this
Yeah,
program.
there are still
And
much work to left, but yeah, they are progressing quite good.
and obviously they need to see if it's going to work. But I don't think that there's any doubts that this might not work, or there will be some crucial problems
Mhm.
with the construction of this flame trench. Because if this would be the first one, so if they wouldn't have Tower A, then I would say, yeah, okay, it's a risky business. But to be fair, I think they gathered so much information
Mhm.
regarding the inverse shower, you know, that flame
Yeah.
trench that they built under the Olam, the current Tower Olam, that now they kind of understand the challenges with this construction, and obviously now what they are doing is they are implementing the knowledge that you know. Um, Sort of gathered by the rocket industry, because everybody used to go with the usual frame trench design, and they kind of thought that they are going to reinvent the wheel with this. They are reinventing the wheel with every other aspect, but not this one. They ended up exactly with the same flame trench than other companies are doing. So yeah, but it's good to see that they are doing major progress.
Mhm.
And if you guys think about it for a second, that what kind of launching platforms are using other companies, let's say ULA, or what they are using for the, well, I don't know if we need to drag into this conversation the Artemis program and the SLS rockets, because that's another beast, another money flame trench where they are burning quite amount of money. But that kind of construction that they are having here, that there is a tower which has arms, this one going to have a two tiny T-Rex arm, as Felix is calling them, tiny, tiny chopstick arms. So they are using this not just to move the boosters and the ships, but to catch them. And also they are going to have the flame trench and the launch platform, which is swappable if they are going to get if they're gonna go ahead with the plan. So this is revolutionary. And if you look around the rocket industry, this is non-existent anywhere else. And this is really fine-tuned for reusability and fast turnaround if it goes ahead the way they plan.
Yeah, and although it's maybe they are only halfway there, I
Hmm.
guess that's a good indicator that they are sure what they are doing. That already they have started to drill the drilling work already at the KSC, so at the LC-39A. So even, yeah, as we can see, it's still not finished. They have started the let's say the second launch pad or the first launch pad at the Kennedy. So yeah, of course, hopefully there won't be a big and a major problem with this flame trench and the whole pad B way, let's say, because in this case they have to reconstruct again at the KSC as well, and maybe they want to they want to just miss it.
Hmm.
And yeah, and yeah, rumor has it that maybe the first ship catching attempt will be coming even when the flame trench won't be finished. So maybe that's why they start, or they are doing quite fast tempo with with the installing of the chopsticks, because maybe they have the maybe. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling it at the Starbase, so not at the KSC.
Oh, sorry.
So
So I just found this that they are already moving the chopstick, and I
yeah,
think this is the digging or drilling what you meant, right?
yeah, that's the big drilling machine,
Mm-hmm.
which are drilling down the um, sheet piles. So yeah, yeah, and there was an opening test, let's say, on the rusty chopsticks, because they can be quite rusty, because nothing happened to them since 2022. So just going back to the Starbase, I heard the rumor, or not heard, but read the rumor that maybe the first ship catching attempt will be done with the second. So this chopstick, what we can see on the picture right now. So on pad B, and it will be quite interesting that maybe the the booster will be coming back to the pad A, and the ship will be coming back to the pad B. So the booster and the ship will be at the same launch site, but on two different launch pads. Just how cool would be this one?
Yeah. Well, this is, I mean, they are going to start doing these kind of multiple operations. If they have two platforms, two service towers with two
Hmm.
chopsticks, obviously they are going to use them. So,
Yeah, but just I
uh,
mentioned this
mhm,
because interesting that even the flame trench or the whole launch platform won't be ready yet.
yeah,
They could just attempt the
use it.
catching.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah, and hopefully nothing bad going to happen, because these
Yeah.
are uncharted territories. But having said that, I mean the ships were doing really well. Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of people are kind of doubting now where SpaceX is, mainly because what happened with ship 33. But I don't think that they losing the way. They just had an issue, and obviously because now doing high altitude, well, They are going to space these days. Even though it's suborbital, they are absolutely in space at proper speed, 26,000, almost
Around,
27,000
yeah.
kilometers per hour. So that's like what? How many times of the bullet, speed of the bullet? So 10, 12, a lot.
Maybe
So
more.
maybe more. So, I mean, if they have any problem with the hardware, there is no forgiveness. That's it. You're done. You're
Mhm.
roasted. That's it. You're soup. So, yeah, when an issue like this happens, it's visible, and obviously we covered in the previous episode why the media picked up this whole story, and the danger wasn't really there. FAA did all the necessary steps before the flight, and there was no danger for the air traffic. They were like so many times higher than the air traffic. There was no danger whatsoever. So they are going to quickly fix this with the ships, and that's it. Show must go on. And with the
Sure,
next one,
mm, it's
yeah,
not the
the
end of
next
the
one,
world either.
no, 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 no. They're gonna launch Ship 34. Hopefully, there won't be any trouble with that. And then Flight 9, hopefully, we're gonna see the first ship landing. Yeah, it's not great, but this is iterative development, and that's
Mhm.
part of it, that you are pushing your hardware to the limit. But having said that, you remember Petrocelli. Maybe the older viewers know this. There was a TV series. I think there was a lawyer guy called
Really?
Petrocelli, and famously the story with the guy
Doesn't
with
come
this
in my
guy.
mind yet.
Anyway, it's like from the 80s, I think, or yeah, I think from the 80s. And so this guy is a lawyer, and he's got all kinds of situations happening to him. But the key what I'm trying to drag in is that he was building his own house, and I think he did not finish it during, like, I don't know how many episodes. He was already still constructing his, but it never finished. And somebody was comparing the Starship program with this, that it's great that they're always rolling at the newer and newer and newer version of Starship, but at some point they need to settle with something. You
Of
cannot
course.
always have a newer design and they change this and they change that. So how long this period is going to go on? That, okay, now block 2 ship. Then they are going to introduce the block 2 booster version, and then they're going to introduce the block 3, and then we're gonna have the Raptor 3 engines. That changes the equation again. So you know what I mean? They're always changing something, and at some point they need to sort of going with some sort of idea baseline, and
Yeah,
they
but
do
that's
tiny tweaks.
mm, it's not accidentally. So if we just think behind the scenes, or or the reason behind this whole Starship program, so they want to make it as safe as the commercial airplanes. Just think about it. So there won't be any life support. Of course, life support system will be on on the Starship, but
Ideally,
yeah, ideally. But if you just think about the airplanes, there isn't any life saving system at all. If there is a crash, then game over. And yeah, of
well,
course,
just
it's
like with the aircraft, yes.
that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying, that
Exactly.
and Starship will be one day so safe like an airplane, and that's why they are doing so many developments and so many improvements. And of course, what we can see, that's they are going two step forward and one step backwards. But that's the, as you mentioned, Sabi, the iterative development way. And it it's not like that they have to wait, I don't know, half a year or 1 year to the until the next flight. So if we are lucky, then we can see the next flight, so the flight 8 at the end of February, so one month later, and it's not a terrible thing. And yeah, if we just think about that, they could launch 25 starships only in this year, then it's a quite big step forward, or it could mean a big step forward in the development process, because as I mentioned, they want to make the Starship as safe as the airplanes. So they want to have even more and more and more test flights, because with these test flights can come could coming up the failure points, and with the failures they can learn quite much.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
maybe this failure with the ship 33 wasn't so bad, because with this failure they could making even a bigger improvement in the successors. So I mean maybe not in the ship 34, but from the ship 35 or 36 and so on. And these failures just making all the ships and the boosters or the entire Starship rocket much more safer than the previous prototypes.
That's cool. Why I'm saying this is purely because the fact that in the same time, yes, the Starship program is incredibly promising, and I think we know that most of our viewers know that, and I think the industry know that. But in the same time, sooner or later, they must start actually developing on the promise that they made. And
Mhm.
what I mean is they need to start launching payload. And I
That's
know,
right.
I mean, and I'm not doubting it that they will. I know that they will, but they cannot prolong this for too long now, because uh, let, let's be frank. Yes, we were giving a lot of bollocks to New Glenn and Blue Origin, but that's kind of ready. Even though they didn't land the booster, it still took its payload to the trajectory it's supposed to take it. And this year they are going to one more flight, and they are qualified for military payload, and they are going for it.
Hmm.
And I know that on the long run, Starship has the upper hand, but in the same time, they are going to, from now on, they really are going to start losing business if they're not really making Starship delivering on its promise. And it's definitely gonna
Mhm.
take at least a few more flights.
Yeah.
Now, this is kind of why it's unfortunate what happened during Flight 7. On one hand, we are happy because a major problem came out. They can fix it, and most likely never gonna come back, just like most of the troubles they had with the previous flights. But in the same time, it's still an investigation going on. They cannot launch tomorrow. Okay, they couldn't launch tomorrow because ship 34 is not ready. I don't know what about booster 15.
That's for Flight 8, if you mean that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Booster 15.
Yeah, I don't know how far they are with the development. I know ship 34 is not ready for flight yet. It doesn't
No, no,
even have
no. No,
the bottom flaps.
both of the stages have to have its own static fire.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You mean required? It's not done
Yeah.
yet.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
no.
Yeah. Gotcha. So I mean, and January is almost over, and I don't want to be the devil's advocate. I'm full on with Starship. I'm just highlighting that it's not as smooth as a lot of people would assume that it is. It
Sure.
has its own challenges, and they still not quite there where they want to be. Not supposed to be where they want to be, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, it was in the picture, or I don't know how to say it, but of course, at the at the very beginning, of course, they wanted to make great success at the very beginning, but this rocket is so different in so many ways.
Mhm.
So the
That's why I
solutions.
said that they are
Mhm.
planning for the long run. And
Yeah.
yeah, they have the upper hand for the long run. They have the advantage if they
Mhm.
nail it, and they will nail it because the booster is doing such an amazing. I mean, this is such a milestone, right?
Right, but yeah, now the financial question is raising.
Yes, absolutely.
Because as you mentioned, if they uh, can't launch
Deliver. Hmm.
or deliver the starlings in
Hmm.
hundreds of numbers of them, then financially it will be a totally mess. And as Elon mentioning all the time, the financial base of the entire Starship program is the Starlink program. So without
Hmm.
any um, launches, with the Starships, the Starship program could not be a long way financially feasible. So
Hmm. Hmm.
that's why it's very important to them. Then in the next couple of months, they have to start to launch the Starlink satellites. Otherwise, they will be in not big trouble, but starting to starting to being in trouble.
Absolutely. There are some good questions in the chat.
Sure.
So
Mm.
there are two of them kind of pointing towards the same direction. Stin Lewis is asking, will they do extra testing on Ship 34 after Ship 33's problems? And also he's asking in another question, maybe we will see a Ship 34 do a full launch duration static fire. I don't think that's feasible to do a full launch static fire. I don't think that the ground
No,
systems are meant to take that kind of beating.
no, they don't have the required infrastructure there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just think about
It
the
would
water
damage it.
deluge.
Yeah, it would damage everything. It's not meant to,
Mm.
to do a what? How long are they burning? They're burning like for
5 or 6,
minutes. Yeah,
or
that's
you mean on in case of
a full
launch
duration, a full
around
duration launch.
eight and
Yeah.
a half minutes or so, but
Nah,
it's over
no,
8 minutes,
no, come on. The
or
second stage.
6 minutes, 6 minutes,
Yeah, more
but
like
it's
that.
not
Yeah.
6 seconds as on in
No,
case of
no,
the static fire.
no, 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 no. Yeah, no, that's too long. That's too
Yeah.
long. Yeah.
And maybe they
Um.
won't require to have an entire or a full duration launch
Hmm.
launch phase static fire. So no, not nobody doing that. So it's not necessary.
Yeah. Um.
That's why they sorry. That's why they are doing these separate Raptor engine tests at McGregor, but not anymore at Starbase when the engines are already installed.
Mhm. Um.
And
Heads.
just going back to the first half of the question, sorry, because that's why we are here to answer.
No,
And
I know,
so,
but I thought you finished. That's why I started. Sorry.
sorry, no, I was just overthinking. So yeah, what are the plans for Ship 34? We don't know yet because we can't look into the, of course, the plans of SpaceX, but maybe they will repeat almost the entirely plan or the agenda of Ship 33, which wasn't a successful launch or flight, as we know.
Was it? I don't know
Maybe,
what you're
maybe
talking
not.
about. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, definitely they need to repeat Flight 7 for
Yeah,
sure. There's no way out of it. But that's how it should be done.
yeah.
There is nothing wrong with that. Yeah. There was a question from Topload Telly. Falcon 9 or Starship? I don't like a comparison with Apple and Pear. Usually you compare Apple with Apple. That's two different vehicles. It's like asking, the Volkswagen Beetle or Toyota Corolla. I just said something, or Volkswagen Golf. There are two different generations. They were serving two different purposes. They're both great, and Starship is not ready yet. So, but Falcon 9, I don't think anybody's questioning the importance of Falcon 9. It opened up the road for for
Sure.
reusability.
Yeah.
It opened up, I don't know, Pandora's box. Like it's done something that currently members of the rocket sector assumed it's not feasible to do, or definitely not on a sustainable level.
Yeah, it's a good workhorse for SpaceX and even for NASA and the entire, of course, the let's say the entire world, because many of the third parties have used Falcon 9 for minimum for one time already, but most of the partners have used it more for more launches already. So,
Hmm.
and it shows that the Falcon 9 is a very reliable and very good
Yeah, and just
constructed
think
rocket.
and just think about it. People were laughing at that time on Elon Musk. Elon Musk wasn't the same successful, business-wise successful person that who he is today. Um, Back then, when he proposed a rocket design that the booster will come back, minimum refurbishment, boom, send it back again. Like after a month of refurbishment, people said to him, "Hey, millionaire guy, just find a nice island, sip some cocktails, just enjoy life, dude." And he said, "No, no, 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 thank you. I want to
I
achieve
know what I'm
something."
doing. Yeah.
Exactly. So there were. He was going against the wind, and nobody believed that this is feasible. So that's why I think Falcon 9 will always remain one of those classic rockets that just changed the world as we know. Today, that's what they achieved. That today, when there's a Falcon 9 rocket launches, people are not like, yeah, okay, it's gonna land, and so what? It's done it quite a few hundred times already. Okay, what's new?
Yeah.
It made it boring, which is great. It's amazing,
Yeah, that means
amazing,
great. Yeah. Shall we
amazing.
go? Shall we fly on to the KSC, or because we have seven
Um,
or 6 minutes left and we
yeah, yeah,
have
yeah,
one
yeah.
more small topic?
Yes, no, no, you're right. Absolutely. We got some great photos to show. This is from NASA spaceflight. These are all renders that they are going now. They are going with this Giga Factory or
Hmm.
Giga Bay. I'm sorry, not
Yeah.
Giga Factory. Giga Factory already exists, quite a few of them, and they're making Teslas in them. But rather a Giga Bay. I'm sorry. Can we see the photos, please? Yeah.
Yeah, so just beginning the topic. So last week, a nice and quite, I wouldn't say crazy plan was coming up from SpaceX, but yeah, they have just introduced us the plans on KSC, rather, or better to say at Roberts Road. I don't know when we can have the renders.
Jonathan, can we have the photos, please? Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
it.
Thank
Mhm.
you. Mhm.
So maybe, as you know, all know already, there is a quite big construction area at the Roberts Road, and that's
Mhm.
the existing part. But you can see there will be a huge building.
Mm.
Of course, the entire entire area will be just
So this is the
extended.
existing one, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, so the other building is for the Falcon 9 refurbishment, so we won't cover this one.
Mhm.
But from this one to the left side of this picture will be a quite huge extension area, and on this area will be a very big hangar, let's say. And at first sight, it's like the VAB of the NASA, but it's a bit shorter. But yeah, that's a good comparison. So the
Mhm.
VAB is maybe unbeatable, and maybe
Yeah.
it doesn't require to beaten up. But yeah, anyways, so this GigaBay will be quite huge, and there will be either on one hand the construction of the boosters and the ships, on the other hand the storage area,
Mhm.
because the the rollout of Starbase will be in the next couple of years even less and less, and the main phase of the Starship construction and the launches will be just transferred to Florida, and of course they will need a quite huge infrastructure and storage area, and this mass production line to be built up, and that's one of the biggest part of it, the GigaBay, and these renders are made by 3D Daniel, right?
Mhm.
Am I
Mhm.
correct? So
Yep.
just follow him on X
Definitely.
if you want to. So these
Definitely.
are quite huge, or that will be a quite huge building, and yeah, of course these are only a fantasy renders. So but mm, based on the plans, that will look like the same.
It meant to show the size. So definitely a huge shout out to 3D Daniel.
Of course, the boosters will be just storaged on its stands, so not on its
Exactly.
Raptors.
No. I mean, that's tiny, minor detail.
Yeah, just
No.
wanted to
But
mention.
obviously, they won't be, that many boosters just stuck in the hangar. That's no way.
Yeah.
But it's just showing the size that how many could fit into this big ass building. It's gonna be huge for sure.
Maybe they won't need so many boosters at all. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But that's a good sign. So it means that the focus started, building up
Hmm.
towards the Florida site because that's where the real action going to be. There's no secret that the Starbase is always going to be an R&D site, a research and development site. But the real deal is going to happen here in Florida because this is where they are going to build up a proper launch cadence, and this is where they are going to launch um, starships,
Yeah.
the
Abia
HLS, and
just
all the great programs. Yeah.
sending through quickly a very nice photo from Harry Stranger. It's a satellite photo about the extension, just just to make just to have an idea how big extension will be this one. I've sent it. Can you please
Mm-hmm.
put in the
Mm-hmm.
stream?
Yep. Just give me a sec. You can talk in the same time.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this
I'm doing
GigaBay
it.
will be a very small area compared to the whole extension area. So yeah, we will have the picture in any moment. Yeah, what we can see, yeah, of course, every bushes and trees will be unfortunately destroyed, but that's the industry how going on. And yeah, actually, what we can see on the next to the road, it's the entire new long, um, yeah, land clearance. So that will be the entire extension zone. What we can see, and the lighter tan color is showing the GigaBay. So
Mm-hmm.
you can compare the entire area and the base of the GigaBay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a saying: if you want to make an omelet, you need to break a couple of eggs. And I
Yes.
think that's part of the progression. Obviously, some people are vocal about this, that now we are killing the nature, and I mean, I love it. If anybody has ever been to the Kennedy Space Center, then you will see that it's such a beautiful wildlife reserve at the biggest I don't know, space facility in the world probably, and the wildlife is amazing
Hmm.
there. So if there is a place where they really look after nature, this is it. So nobody needs to really shed a tear about this area. And this is a current photo, right? So this is ongoing work.
Yes, it's from 2 weeks ago, but
No,
yeah,
but I mean
quite.
not. It's not a render. This is an
No, no, no,
actual
no.
real
This
photograph.
this is a satellite, a real satellite photo. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Okay. Right. Let's double check what's going on at the live camera. Yeah, he's still on the ground. Okay, so no lifting yet, but hopefully this is going to go ahead today. Definitely, we are looking forward because this is a big thing, and as David was telling us earlier on, they might use these chopsticks to catch the first ship here, which is great before the whole pad B or Tower B, or how can I say, the pad B is finished.
Mhm.
So it's a huge stuff. This is a first step towards the right direction. So yeah, um, I think this is us for this week. Thank you very much, almost 100 of you, to staying us all along to the end. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Smash the like if you like what we do. Subscribe to the main channel. What about it as well? Watch the usual episodes Tuesdays and Fridays. Felix is bringing you the best and latest information regarding to Starbase and basically from all around the world regarding to the space industry. Thanks for staying with us and stay tuned. We have a 24/7 camera so you can watch this live stream what you see on the screen all the time. So make sure you tune in, bookmark it. I don't know, save it to your favorites. I don't know. You know what to do. I don't need to tell you what to do. Have a lovely week, and we'll be back next week. We will be back. We'll be
I think
back.
so.
Yeah.
We'll be
Okay.
back.
Have a lovely week, guys, and see you next week. We will be back next Monday. Up until then, enjoy the rest of the week. Take care. Ciao, ciao. Bye.
Stay tuned. Bye bye.